So, you just bought a brand new Logitech 1080p camera, possibly in the C900 series, or maybe you've already had that camera for a little while and you've just done some upgrades to your PC rig. And you open up Streamlabs OBS or OBS Studio and things just don't look right. Now, I'm having a hard time exactly recreating all of the flickering that I was dealing with before, so I'll include some video here from other YouTubers who have been dealing with this problem, but what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be sort of talking about my experience with this problem, some of the workarounds that I've tried to use that haven't quite worked, that might work for you, and then explain to you guys how exactly you can get this into a working state, or at least how I was able to get it in an acceptable state. So here we go. So you open up your camera settings to try and figure out just what exactly is going on wrong here. So you go to configure video, open it up, and you start fiddling around with stuff. Maybe you take some of the auto features off, and you try and bring that exposure up a little bit to try to make things look better. Take off low light compensation, but things still aren't looking right. So let's see what happens here when I try to just put things on the max settings here. I try to go to all my max settings, put all these things back to default, bring the exposure up again, and it just isn't handling it. Alrighty, now one of the first things that you can do to fix this problem is to just go into your settings here for the camera and put things at device default. Now the problem is that this is going to bring you down to standard definition. Now for some of you this is going to be perfectly acceptable. For me, this is absolutely not acceptable. You buy a 1080p camera, you expect the bloody thing to work properly. So, that doesn't work. What are some of the other possible solutions that could work for you guys? Well, one of the issues that I hear, one of the things that I hear as being a cause of this issue is lack of power getting to the camera. So either you've got too many USBs plugged in, or the power supply that you have on your computer is just not powerful enough to handle the camera on top of everything else that you're doing. Now, most people, for me, I tried unplugging the USBs, and even with only the camera, my keyboard, and the mouse plugged in, I was still having this issue. So that didn't work for me. So what I then went and did was I have a power supply unit, a spare power supply unit that is 600 watts instead of the 550 watt one that I had in this rig. So I swapped that out to try and see if that extra 50 watts would be able to help the camera out. And it didn't really change much either. And on top of that, most people just aren't going to have access to a spare power supply kicking around that just happens to be more powerful than the one they're currently using. So that's not really a viable solution for most people, and it didn't even work for me. So one of the other things that I heard about is that it's an issue with your motherboard. Now on this rig that I just upgraded recently, there's a new motherboard in it from the last rig. So it's possible that you have old drivers installed on your computer from your previous motherboard, or some kind of old software from that motherboard that is interfering with what you're doing. So you want to try and uninstall all that stuff, get it all cleared off your system, and then make sure you reinstall the drivers that you need for your current rig. Now, I tried doing this, and again, it did not fix the problem for me. However, one thing that did help a little bit was changing which USB I had my camera plugged into. Now, one of the things that I heard online, kind of speculation about this issue, lots of other people have been dealing with this issue, is that if you take your camera and unplug it from the USB that is directly connected to the motherboard, and you actually put it in the front of your case, that can actually reduce the flickering. Also, changing which kind of USB version you're using. So if you've got the camera plugged into a USB 3.0, try it on a 2.0. vice versa. If you're on a 2.0, try it out on a 3.0, see if that fixes, or at the very least reduces some of the flicker for you. Now, I did that. I switched both from the back of the motherboard to the front of the case, and from a 3.0 to a 2.0, and that helped reduce things a little, but it still didn't get me to where I am today. Now, this is where we get into the solution that worked for me. Now, Logitech has a series of programs free, available for download on their website, that actually can control the camera settings without you using the settings of whatever program you're in. So we can just completely forget about the Streamlabs OBS settings or your OBS Studio settings. And you want to check out these programs. Now, only one of these programs really worked to fix the problem for me, but I'm going to tell you guys all the different programs just on the off chance that one of them ends up working better for you guys than the other. So one of the things you can get is the Logitech G Hub. Now, Logitech G Hub you can use to control all sorts of different Logitech peripherals that you have plugged into your computer. I'm using the Logitech C920, and I've also got my G502 mouse that I'm using. Now, for me, this did not work. You can give it a go, but for me, that did not work at all. Another possible program you can use is the Logitech camera settings. Again, all of these are available on the Logitech website. Now, this one helped to reduce the flicker a little bit, but it did not fully fix it. So we're going to close that again. Now, we're getting onto the program that, for me, reduced almost the entirety of the flicker that I was dealing with, and has now got me to this silky smoothness that I'm currently at right now. And that program here is Logitech Capture. Now, when you first boot this program up, you might have a watermark on screen on the camera. There is a setting in the program to get rid of that, however. So you don't need to worry about that at all. And here we are. You've got all your settings here. Let's see here. You've got your autofocus, you've got your auto white balance, you've got various other settings here. You've got your anti-flicker if you get flickering from your lights, but that's a different kind of flickering from the kind that we're trying to solve here. You can click here on the little camera to get to your specific video settings. You can control your FPS and whether you're using full HD or not. Now, for me, having this program open while I also have Streamlabs OBS has reduced basically all of the flickering that I've been dealing with this camera, and has brought it to basically functioning as good as it did on my previous rig. So that is my main advice to you guys, is check out this Logitech Capture program. Now, in order to get this working properly, what you need to do is you do not open this program first. You open Streamlabs OBS first, make sure that it loads up, make sure that your camera is on screen, then you open this program to start fiddling with the settings. Now, you can try closing the program after you've fiddled with the settings. The settings will usually stay, but for me, when I'm streaming, I like to keep it open, just on the off chance that things get a little screwy. I've got it right there. I can fiddle with it a little bit to try and get things working on stream. Now, another thing that you guys should keep in mind when using this program with Streamlabs OBS is that you absolutely need to make sure that you do not have this box checked, deactivate when not showing. If you stream with this box checked and this program open, what will happen is whenever you go to your BRB screen, your camera will actually turn off. And if your camera turns off while you have Streamlabs open, the camera, if we'll just go back here, the camera will actually stop appearing on Streamlabs and start appearing in this program here, completely screwing up your stream. So you do not want to do that. So make sure that no matter what, you do not have this box checked. So deactivate when not showing, you want that off. What is it about this program that is solving this problem? I don't know, but if I had to guess, my guess would be that there is something about this Cisco Open video encoder that this program is forcing the camera to use that is helping the camera to run smoothly. Maybe Streamlabs is trying to use the wrong drivers on its own, and having this program open forces it to use the right ones. I don't know. I'm not a super big techie guy. I'm really just flying by the seat of my pants here, trying to figure out what's going on here. So that's my best advice to you guys. Check out this program. Hopefully that will help you solve the problem. And guys, that's basically it. I hope some of the things I told you in this video helped you guys to solve this problem, if this is a problem you're dealing with. There are a lot of people I've seen online, on YouTube, on various forums that have been dealing with this problem that still haven't been able to find a solution. So I really hope that some of the tips and tricks that I show you guys in this video will help you out a little bit. Again, keep in mind, this is not a guaranteed fix. This is just the workaround that I've found that works for my system. That's part of the reason I kind of went over some of the different things that other people talked about trying, because I really just don't know what's going to work for you guys. So that's all. If this video was of assistance to you, please drop a like. Please hit that subscribe button. I also do Twitch streams over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/baldchristopher. I'm live every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And yeah, that's about it from me, guys. Take care. Peace out. I'll also include some links below the video of some other videos of people who have been dealing with this problem, in the hopes that if what I talked about here didn't work for you guys, maybe some of the workarounds that these other people have found will work for you.